Forget everything you thought you knew about cheap imports. This 1 to 400 horsepower? Titan is about to make every luxury SUV in your neighborhood look like a prehistoric fossil. Do you remember the old school stereotypes we used to throw around about vehicles? Coming from the Far East. If you grew up in a household that worshipped at the altar of Detroit steel or German precision, you probably remember the jokes. We used to say that if you bought one of those budget models, you'd be lucky if the radio worked for more than a week, or that the body panels were probably made from melted down soda cans. We used to look at their designs and chuckle, thinking they were just poorly executed copies of the cars we actually wanted to drive. We told ourselves that while they might be able to build a decent microwave, they'd never understand the soul of a real machine. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for the traditionalists, but the joke is officially on us. The era of dismissing these creators is over. And if you are currently holding a lease on a high-end European or American luxury SUV, you might want to look away. I am currently standing in the presence of a machine that has completely recalibrated my understanding of what a vehicle can be. Seriously, I need you to hit the reset button on your brain for a second. Put aside your thoughts on the Range Rover. Stop dreaming about that BMW X7. And honestly, even the Tesla Model X starts to look a little bit dated when you park it next to this thing. This is the Zeekr 9X. It is a massive, 6-seater engineering marvel that boasts nearly 1,400 horsepower. Let that number sink in for a moment. 1,400. It can rocket from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in just 3.1 seconds. It features an electric-only range that puts most dedicated battery vehicles to shame. Yet it carries a price tag that competes with a well-equipped Chevy Tahoe. This isn't just a new car. It is a declaration of war on the status quo. And quite frankly, the North American market is currently getting schooled in a way that is both impressive and a little bit intimidating. Let's just get straight to the point. This thing is an absolute unit. Stretching over 17 feet in length, it has a physical footprint that demands respect. If you saw this rolling down a boulevard in Los Angeles or cruising through the streets of Toronto, you would swear you were looking at a Rolls-Royce. Cullinan that had been sent back in time from the year 2050. Zeekr has been making some serious noise in the industry lately, but with the 9X, they haven't just entered the chat. They've completely taken over the room. This is their flagship super hybrid, and it tackles the biggest hurdle facing modern drivers: range anxiety. But it doesn't solve it by being a slow, sensible commuter. It solves it by offering more raw power than a legendary hypercar. Looking at it from the front, you realize this vehicle doesn't just have a face. It has an aura. This model features massive, C-shaped LED projection units and an active air intake system that is honestly mesmerizing. The headlights themselves are masterfully hidden. They are matrix projection units tucked away in the dark trim, remaining completely invisible until the moment you wake them up. Even the hood is a work of art, a massive, seamless clamshell design that gives the front end a clean, monolithic look. But the real wow factor is that subtle bump positioned just above the windshield. That is the next-generation high-resolution LiDAR sensor. It is constantly scanning the horizon, seeing nearly 2,000 feet down the road, piercing through heavy fog, and essentially acting as a high-tech guardian for everyone inside. When you move to the side profile, the sheer scale of the 9X really hits you. It is over 5 meters long, making it physically larger than most of the luxury SUVs we consider big over here. It sits proudly on 22-inch forged wheels that look like they were carved out of a single block of metal to resemble turbine blades. The stance is incredibly planted and wide, giving it a look of permanent stability. The details are where things get truly sophisticated. The windows are mounted perfectly flush with the bodywork, and the pillars are completely blacked out to create that iconic floating roof aesthetic that is so popular right now. But here's where it gets interesting. You'll notice a charging port on one side and a gas flap on the other. This is a plug-in hybrid, but forget everything you know about standard hybrids. This is the super hybrid system. It combines a high-efficiency, 2-liter turbocharged engine with 3 high-performance electric motors. The result is a staggering 1,281 horsepower. That is the kind of power that used to be reserved for experimental race cars. Yet here it is in a family-sized SUV. It allows this 3-ton powerhouse to launch like a fighter jet. But the real kicker, it carries a massive 70 kilowatt-hour battery pack that allows For over 235 miles of pure electric driving, for most of us in the States or Canada, that means you could do your entire weekly commute without ever using a drop of gasoline, only relying on the engine for those long-haul road trips, where you can get a total mixed range of nearly 800 miles. And when you do need to plug in, its 900-volt architecture means you can go from 20% to 80% charge in just about 9 minutes. It's the ultimate have your cake and eat it too powertrain. Stepping inside the Zeekr 9X feels less like entering a car and more like boarding a private Gulfstream jet. The first thing that hits you is the scent of genuine, high-grade Napa leather that covers almost every surface you can touch. The dashboard is a minimalist masterpiece, anchored by a 17-inch 3K OLED screen that looks crisper than a high-end gaming monitor. If that wasn't enough, there is a massive 47-inch augmented reality head-up display that projects your navigation and speed directly onto the asphalt ahead of you. Everything is powered by the latest Snapdragon 8295 chip, so the interface is lightning fast, no lag, no stuttering, just pure performance. For the audiophiles out there, this interior is a dream come true. It features a custom-tuned Naim sound system. If you aren't familiar with the name, Naim is a legendary British audio brand usually found in cars that cost more than a house. This setup boasts 32 speakers and 8 seat shakers, pumping out a massive 3,800 watts of crystal clear sound. It doesn't just play your favorite songs. It recreates the entire concert hall experience inside the cabin. The ambient lighting is also intelligent, shifting colors based on the cabin, temperature, or even pulsing, in sync with the beat of your music. While the driver gets all the power, the rear passengers get all the glory. The middle row features what they call cloud lounge seats. They are designed to be the ultimate place to relax during a long trip. If you're sitting in the boss seat behind the front passenger, you can press a single button to fold the front seat flat and out of the way, allowing you to recline your own seat to a 135-degree angle. You get a heated footrest, an ottoman, and even a hot stone massage function. It is legitimate first-class travel on 4 wheels. Zeekr even included a dual-layer refrigerator in the center console that can keep your drinks chilled or your snacks frozen. There are solid aluminum tray tables that glide out with a weighted, expensive-feeling movement, perfect for working on a laptop or enjoying a meal. And for entertainment, a massive 17-inch 3K screen folds down from the ceiling. It has 5G connectivity built in, so you can stream movies or even hook up a gaming console to keep the kids entertained. Or yourself, let's be honest. Safety hasn't been an afterthought either. The 9X is built using massive giga-casted aluminum sections and features the Hauhan safety armor, making the frame incredibly rigid and safe. Combined with its array of 5 high-res LiDARs and dual NVIDIA Drive Thor chips, it offers a level of autonomous driving that makes highway cruising almost effortless. It's a vehicle that feels like it's looking out for you, constantly monitoring for hazards you might not even see yet. Now, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the price. In its home market, this entire package, the 1,381 horsepower, the Naim audio, the fridge, the LiDAR, starts at roughly $65,000 USD. Even the top-tier version with every luxury box checked, like the Obsidian Black Edition, only climbs to about $84,000. To put that in perspective, $84,000 over here might get you a mid-tier German SUV with a modest engine and a decent interior. It certainly won't get you something that can outrun a Ferrari while giving you a massage. If this vehicle ever officially lands on North American shores at that price point, the entire industry is going to have a very long, very difficult day at the office. So, here is the big question for you. If you had 80 grand to spend, would you stick with the familiar luxury brands we've known for decades? Or would you take a chance on this futuristic powerhouse that seems to do everything better? Is this the new king of the SUV world? Or is it just too much technology for one vehicle? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel SpecShift.